My name is Arielle Basha, and I am a calligrapher based in Atlanta, Georgia. I grew up in a really artistic environment. My mom was an artist, so she painted, she made jewelry, and we had a beautiful art studio in our basement. She really encouraged me to explore every medium that I found fascinating. And she actually was an English teacher before she was a chiropractor. So we had all these cursive workbooks around our house, and I found them before I knew how to read and was just drawing these letters. I loved the fact that you could draw one letter A in a million different styles, and someone would look at it and still know that's the letter A. I went to school for acting, but a year in, I was, of course, waiting tables at the same time as us actresses do in Manhattan. And when I was there, we had these huge chalkboards in the cafe, and one day our manager was like, "Hey, who wants to draw this chalkboard?" And I was like, "Oh, I can draw, I can totally figure it out." It took me 4 tries because I kept squishing all of the words towards the end of the chalkboard. And by the time I got the hang of it, I caught the attention of other managers of different cafes. And they started saying, "Hey, can you do my chalkboards? I'll give you $30. Long story short, in a year and a half after I started these chalkboards, I became the regional chalkboard artist of New York for this company. I think I'm still in this really beautiful exploratory phase of my work and how to add more of who I am into it. And I think a lot of that definitely comes from putting my calligraphy and my painting and putting all of those different styles together. I have a movie coming up that I'm really excited to be a part of. It is set in the early 1800s, and I'm going to be doing live calligraphy for the movie. And I'm actually also going to be creating all of the props for the movie, including a mock-up of the Louisiana Purchase Treaty. So I'm so excited that that project is leading me even deeper into my historical studies. Right now, I'm deep into learning new styles. So for a while, I was creating much more from my imagination and just kind of pushing the boundaries of what I could do. And recently, I've been enjoying finding these historical styles, understanding where they came from, how they used to be taught and used, and then creating them myself and kind of putting myself in that mindset. We have modern calligraphy and traditional styles of calligraphy, right? Traditional styles follow very specific rules and guidelines, and I can kind of talk through some of the different styles historically. So, we have a lot of what we know now stemmed from Roman capitals, right? The alphabet that we know and use these days stemmed from Roman capitals. And then we had italic came from that, which of course was when that came to the Italian. Yeah, it had that slight slant to it. You had a little serif on the side. And really as we went through all these different periods of styles changing and coming to be, because after that, we had the black letter. After black letter, then we had more scripts come into play. Now we have modern on the opposite end, which I like to call the Wild West of calligraphy. Because modern calligraphy these days doesn't have a specific alphabet, right? We have so many modern calligraphers around the world now who have come up with their own style. And a lot of it is really stemmed off of the American cursive that we're kind of taught growing up. Well, we all used to. It's coming back. As an artist, adding new skills is important for multiple reasons. So one of them is being available to a wide range of clients to be able to execute as many different projects as I can, of course, but then on another end, it brings me back to being a beginner, which I think is a really important mindset to have as a calligrapher. But you can also learn this with approaching new mediums and even using the foundations of calligraphy and how you do your writing, but doing it with a new tool really brings you back to that mindset of, I might suck at this for a while, right? I have to be patient with myself. I have to be graceful. I have to be compassionate and understand I have things to learn here. Often when I am doing something for personal, it feels indulgent. There's always gonna be that voice that's like, right? But it's so important to make time to create those personal pieces for yourself. So I've been leaning more into this. only really in the past couple of months, and allowing myself to be like, you know what? I'm creating space to play. I want to create pieces that are meaningful. I want to create pieces of art that people will take with them and look at them, and it'll evoke something within them. It will empower them. It will make them feel creative and inspired. That is really what I aim for with every single one of my clients and pieces. Delta celebrates the lives of breast cancer survivors. I got to work with a colleague of mine, her name's Elisa, and we got to sit there and hand write luggage tags for the survivors that were going on this trip. So they would all line up and tell us their names, and we would sign it for them, and just seeing their faces light up when they received it was so beautiful. I get so emotional every time I talk about it. It's just one of those moments, you know, where seeing it unfold in front of you is so special. Being part of something like that, that's so meaningful, and that is something that's so close to my heart. If you have something you're passionate about, if you have determination, and if you do not let no be a final answer, there's nothing that can stop you. I'm gonna cry.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good. And I'm crying because I'm just so passionate about this craft and for what it can do to unlock all of these different parts of you. It's one of the few practices that I've come across that have allowed me to connect my mind, my body, and my spirit. That I learn something new about myself every time I put a pen on paper. Every time I get into that zone and my flow, I realize something about who I am and who I want to continue to be. And calligraphy has gotten me closer and closer to the artist I want to be and the woman I want to be. If you want to pursue an art form, it is worth your time. All of the productivity, the noise, everything else that you're worried about, those stressors, let them fade away in a creative practice. Let yourself open up these artistic aspects of you, because we as humans are born to be creators, no matter what avenue being a creator means to you.